everybody, whether you're on the East Coast, West Coast, or around the world. This is Coast to Coast, and we have the first week of NFL play in the books. Obviously, there's Monday Night Football tonight, but great opening weekend.
Yeah. I don't care what anybody said. I know the Jets took the loss,
They look good
in that game, but I thought they looked pretty damn good, honestly.
Yeah.
They only lost by one score, but Bo, I got to tell you, Dustin, I don't know what you were thinking or how you thought about it, but I really was impressed by the play of Justin Fields, number one. I thought he looked way better than he ever did in Chicago.
He was definitely better than I thought he was going to be.
That's because I forgot about that heading into the game, but Garrett Wilson was his college receiver. So, and they've said it the last couple of years that even during the offseason that Justin Fields and Garrett Wilson work out together during the summer. So they've been throwing together for the last 3 or 4 seasons during the offseason. So I forgot to put that together. But knowing that he's with Garrett Wilson again, I'm not going to be shocked at all to see Justin Fields have actually a decent year because they've been throwing together for 6 years, going back to their 2 years together in college and now working out together in the offseason. It's kind of like when you had Joe Burrow and Chase come together in the league. You saw that instant chemistry. You see all these now teams are trying to draft like a wide receiver college quarterback connection because of that chemistry.
Yeah, well, I mean, because the league doesn't develop people anymore, if you have someone that has the reps together already, obviously that's great. He still didn't do anything special, right?
No,
it's not like
he'll be more consistent. I think he'll be more consistent this year than he's been in the past because he has Garrett Wilson as kind of that safety valve where it's like, oh, I know where he's going to be on this play. If the hot read's not there, I'm just going to go to Wilson.
To be fair, though, the one thing that I liked out of it that I didn't think I'd see is his accuracy was way better than what we've seen in the past. Whether it was with Chicago or with the Steelers, right? Like he was actually delivering the ball on time, on target. Yeah. And if you're a Jets fan, you got to feel encouraged about that because that is something that you can duplicate week in and week out. It's not like he just tore off some crazy passes that happened to work. Like they were kind of methodical, on point. It's like, okay, well, like that's something you could see every week instead of like, oh, I was flying sideways and I launched it and my guy got it and he ran it for 85 yards. Like that never means anything week to week, right? But when you see a guy that is just kind of pinpointing his guys and able to move the ball down the field, obviously that's something you're like, okay, like you could see that against any defense.
Right. And that's what I like. I like the fact that he, it was against the Steelers, which is a moderately good defense, right?
Good defense.
And not moderately good.
Well, you know what I'm saying. I'm just trying to be.
No, that's a top level defense.
That's a top 10 defense every year. Yeah, that's
great. And I like the way he was able to do a very well balanced attack. Now, a lot of that's probably play calling, but a lot of that is Justin just going out there and execute. I mean, he ran for 48 with 2 touchdowns, over 200 yards, a touch. But I like he had no interceptions and only took 1 sack. I mean, I'm gonna give him some credit because this is a Jets team. That, we didn't know like you said, I know he had Garrett Wilson, so that was a good chemistry maker there. But I just thought the way he looked, the way he played with more confidence. He just looked like a more pro-ready quarterback than he did when he was with Chicago. And I felt like he was able to get some confidence and some rhythm there.
Yeah, well, and they didn't make him play hero ball, right? He only had 22 attempts, so it's not like he was out there trying to light it up. He goes 16 for 22, so pretty efficient at it. Gets a touchdown, no interceptions. So, I mean, and a couple 100 yards passing. So, I mean, overall, it was a good outing for him. Kept himself from making mistakes. Obviously, a lot of that is play calling also, right? Protect your guy from himself. But it was just the fact that he was actually accurate, something that we really haven't seen much of thus far in his career. And so, I don't know. If you're a Jets fan, you got to be fairly encouraged by that.
Another team that needs to be.
One thing I want to say about this, I thought this was also just as equally good for Aaron Glenn to go into New York, where New York has not exactly been the most successful franchise in quite some time, and he goes in there and he gets a quarterback who hasn't been successful in Chicago, so he takes a rejected quarterback from Chicago. He takes a leftover from Aaron Rodgers-led Jets and then turns it into something really, really nice. And I mean, I know they got the loss. It was a 2-point loss. But when you look at that game, it still had to look pretty good for Aaron Glenn, what he's able to do, at least start to show what this team could be.
Yeah, I mean, you obviously have some moral victories there that you can take if you're a Jets fan, because you have some stuff that not only can you build on, but you don't look as bad as everybody kind of thought you might be. So,
right.
So there is that element. The other side of that is Aaron Rodgers actually looked pretty good.
Yeah.
So he throws for a couple hundred yards, also almost 250 and 4 touchdowns. So, I mean, that's a great debut for a guy that really the last 4 years hasn't looked great in week 1. So,
and that helps the Steelers, who had 34 points in offense that typically has a hard time even getting to 20.
No, that's absolutely. Yeah. And if they would have had the offense they had in the years past, they'd have lost this game easily.
Yeah. But now you got to look at Rodgers too. He's like, we might not score 34 points every week, but if we can consistently score 24 points on offense every week, I don't think the defense is going to give up 30 plus points every week. I think there might be a couple weeks where the Steelers defense has breakdowns like they did this weekend, but for the most part, you score 24 points a game in Pittsburgh, you're not losing too many games.
No, for sure. Yeah, I mean, that defense, again, is one of the top defenses in the league. So, yeah, if they can put up 24, 27, you're going to win most of the time.
Another team that needs to be encouraged by their quarterback play is Indianapolis, with what Daniel Jones did yesterday.
Yeah, Daniel
Jones just told Anthony Richardson, he's like, here, hold my clipboard. You're not getting this job back unless I get hurt.
Yeah.
Holy moly, did he come out yesterday?
Yeah, Richardson will probably get traded at this point.
This was the Daniel Jones the Giants wish they would have had.
I don't know, though, but they did come out and say that they weren't planning on trading Richardson, that they were going to keep him and still try to develop him.
Yeah, well, you have to say that.
Yeah, if I'm not saying Daniel Jones is going to play at this level all year, but just hypothetically speaking, if Daniel Jones plays anywhere close to what he did yesterday for a majority of the year, can limit the turnovers and he was 22 of 29 passing. If he can consistently complete 66% of his passes, limit the turnovers, and do what he did yesterday, he's still only 28 years old. If you're the Colts, you extend that guy after that because he's still only 28 years old. He's not an old starting quarterback yet. He's been in the league 6 years. He's made the playoffs before. You don't need Anthony Richardson. You can live with Daniel Jones for the next 3 or 4 years if he plays the way he did last week or this week.
Yeah, I was not really.
No, I mean, at some point you just realize that maybe you missed, right? I mean, you watch the Niners do it to Trey Lance. Yep. If you get somebody else, obviously this is a massive overreaction because we're talking about one game, but but at the same time, the good GMs will move on. They won't double down on a bad decision, right? So, I mean, if you can get something for Anthony Richardson, especially because you've proven that you're not going to develop him, right? That's that's right. He needs to be developed. And what we've seen is the Colts aren't interested in developing people, right? They want people that are ready to go. So he needs to go somewhere that will be taking the time to develop him. It's why I made the parallel that I think Milroe landing in Seattle is great. And that's a scenario that Richardson really needed, was to have a couple of veterans in front of him, because he was such a reach at the 4th overall pick, right? I mean, just about everybody I knew had him graded as a 3rd rounder. They pick him at 4th overall. And yeah, you can keep naming people that took a long time to develop, but they ended up going to places that develop players. The Colts isn't that place, right? The Colts, they don't develop guys. They he was raw, and he shouldn't have been a 4th round pick or 4th overall pick. Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, it's unfortunate for him because he definitely went into a position that he was kind of set up to fail, right? And so Daniel Jones comes in, he plays well. There's still a chance they draft somebody next year.
Another,
it was just me, but the play of Miami just wasn't as good as I thought it was going to be. Tua Tagovailoa, he's still suffering that concussion because he did not look good at all. He did not look good at all.
Turning the ball over 3 times is rough. A couple of picks and he had a fumble too, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it's I wasn't expecting that for sure. I mean, I didn't expect this game to go the way it did. I thought it was going to be a close game.
Yeah.
Because the Dolphins don't play an inspired brand of defense. But I thought Daniel Jones was definitely going to be an upgrade in consistency over Richardson. But I didn't see the game going the way it did. I thought it was going to be kind of close, but the Dolphins end up on top. I didn't have the Dolphins not getting off their bus and the Colts just beating the brakes off them.
Yeah, I didn't. That's what I'm saying. That it's not that the fact that they won the game; it's just the fact that the way that they destroyed Miami was crazy.
Hey, yeah, I could lead them into defeat.
Miami's gonna be a dumpster fire this year. Like, I don't see McDaniels making it through the year. I think he'll be one of the first coaches fired mid-season. Like, Mike McDaniel's team this year is just gonna be a hot trash.
Yeah, I don't know that they fire him mid-season. They probably let it play out because what's the benefit of firing him, right? The other guy that I think has a real shot at getting fired, probably the first one to get fired, honestly, is Dable.
Oh yeah,
like that Giants team.
Do you think he's ready to switch over to Dart now?
They said yesterday that he had already plays designed for Jackson Dart yesterday. I don't even know if Dart was even on the field yesterday. If he was,
I don't believe he was. I caught most of that game, but not all of it. In the part that I saw, he didn't. He wasn't in the game.
Yeah, I mean, Wilson, under 50% throwing, 168 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions. Like there was nothing you saw out of that Giants game that made you feel good about it.
And what makes you feel
even Scatterbo didn't look good. Scatterbo might have like -3 yards total.
Yeah. That's not what people are going to be talking about with Scatterbo, though. The block that he laid on one of the Washington Commanders edge rushers, that block is going to be shown in every NFL film this week.
That'll be on SportsCenter all week.
That guy, blocks don't give me points in fantasy football. I don't care about blocks.
That's what Scatterbo's going to be, though, Jay. Scatterbo's not going to be like an every down running back like the Giants fans want.
He won't be.
He is a fullback. He's going to be like Kyle Juszczyk of the 49ers, where he's out there to block. He might get 3 or 4 carries a game and catch 2 passes a game. Like, that's what Scatterbo's going to be out there for. And honestly,
I was thinking he could be more like a what was that kid that played for New England? The one that cut all the balls out. The running back that always caught the balls out of the bat. Was it another Falk kid or
Kevin Falk?
Kevin Falk, I think is who I'm thinking of. Where you know what I'm talking about, where he would just catch the ball out of the back, but he would get big plays for New England when he did catch the ball. Yeah. I can see Scatterbo maybe being something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and it'll be situational just like that.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
exactly.
Like he'll have random games where he blows up and then games where he's not really that involved.
Yeah.
And for him, it makes sense because of the position and everything. When you see that for a guy like Bijan, you're like, yeah, you just didn't give him the ball. Like, what are we doing? So, I don't know. The other game that really surprised me, I did not expect the Lions to just not show up.
Well, I think losing 2 coordinators was part of that, but that was the other thing I was going to say is the overall team that I think impressed me the most this weekend was the Packers, because Jordan Love only had 188 yards passing.
Yeah. That
Packers defense looked freaking scary yesterday. Because offensive coordinator being gone or not, Detroit still had one of the best offensive lines in the NFL last year. And that offensive line was non-existent against the Packers pass rush yesterday.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter, like, who, because the offensive line coach for Detroit is now the offensive coordinator. So, yes, he might be the offensive coordinator calling plays. So, yes, that was part of probably the overall offensive struggles because it was his first time calling plays. But he's still coaching that offensive line. An offensive line that's been a top 5 offensive line the last 3 years. So, it's not like he's still not doing that. That offensive line is completely non-existent. That offensive line was completely non-existent against the Packers pass rush yesterday. And Micah Parsons was only on the field for like 25 snaps. So he really wasn't even on the field that long. You get Micah Parsons on the field for his 50, 60 snaps, that defense is going to be scary in Green Bay this year.
Yep. Yeah.
Well, I did hurt the fact. I'm sorry.
My Seahawks went the Ravens route and just couldn't quite close the deal. Gave it up right there at the end. Main takeaway from that one for me is, does Tariq Woolen keep his job as that starting corner? Because he was so inconsistent throughout the day. Like, he'd have a great play and then he'd get burned. That final drive that put the Niners ahead, he got toasted twice. So, I mean, you can say what you want about Darnold fumbling right there at the end, even though they were driving down, looked like they were going to be able to score. Bosa knocked our own tackle into him where, he fumbles. But the biggest thing is Woolen giving up huge plays to make it so that the Niners could get ahead. That was really the biggest question mark for me, because that means double moves are just burning him. And so week to week, that is a real problem. Yeah. I mean, it's who I said DK was. Like that. He is who he is. Like, he doesn't catch. He's got a 50% catch rate. Like, it's not like he's amazing.
Yeah, I just like in that Lions game though, there was not a whole lot of rushing. 78 on the Packers, 40 something on the Detroit side. I felt like Detroit would have had a better running game that game.
You can't.
You're right. That defense was pretty scary.
You can't run the ball when the Packers front seven is in the backfield before the running back can even get to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, that's true.
Detroit was moving backwards the entire game for the most part.
Yeah, they sacked him 4 times. I mean,
yeah,
and I don't think that the Lions defense got a sack the whole day.
I think they had one, but I think it was more of a, not technically a sack. It was like a coverage sack where Love was rolling out, and then just ran himself out of bounds 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage, but that still counts as a sack for the closest defender that was there.
Oh, okay.
Where he was trying to roll out and make a play, but nobody was open, so he just, instead of throwing it away, he just stepped out of bounds for a loss of 2. But I think that goes as a sack, obviously, for whoever the closest defender was. So it technically goes in the book as a sack, but I don't consider that a sack. It's just more I'm just going to run out of bounds and give myself up.
Nice. Yeah. Thanks for jumping in, Joe.
That tell you what though, that Ravens-Bills game last night,
so good.
I mean, this is only week 1, but you can't tell me that there's going to be too many more games this season that are going to top that game. That game was ridiculous.
No, that game was so fun to watch. From opening, the opening kick to 0-0s, right? And then for the Bills to come back from 15 down with 4 minutes to go, you're just like, oh, here we go.
That's why Josh Allen was the MVP last year, because he played like an MVP in that second half.
I mean, the thing about that one is that fumble was the biggest thing in that fourth quarter.
Oh, yeah.
No, it was, but even at that, though, Ravens are a good defense, and Josh Allen tore him apart in the fourth quarter.
Oh, no question. No question. But he doesn't get that opportunity if they don't fumble where they did. I mean, you fumble on your 30, and then one play later, they're on the 1.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm not saying he wouldn't have had that opportunity, but I obviously, having only 30 yards to go is different than having 60 yards to go. He probably still gets the opportunity, but it might have not.
Well, no, because they still had to score twice. So they would have ran out of time.
Yeah. But that game was, I turned it on, I think, right after the Ravens went up 34-19 or whatever it was. So I'm like, oh, this game will be, over. And then I put one of my kids to bed. I came back and it was 40-25. I'm like, yeah, there's no way this is happening. I'm like, holy crap, this is like the Kansas City playoff game all over again.
Tell you what, Derrick Henry he looked pretty. He was definitely in beast mode. I mean, that guy looked good. I know he had but man, he looked good.
Is it just me, or did Derrick Henry look faster last night?
Well, he definitely looked faster.
I mean, I don't think he was faster, but I mean,
he looked faster last night because that one touchdown run he ran away from the defense and the
safety. What I'm saying. When I saw that one run, I didn't think he could move like that. I mean, I thought he was just a power guy.
The guy he torched there, actually, that safety isn't fast.
No, the one that he got by before that, though, not the safety, the cornerback who had the angle on him runs like a 4.40, and Derrick Henry just made him look like nothing, and then Taylor Rapp is obviously not going to catch him.
Yeah, I was going to say, he runs like a 4.7 or something. Yeah. Like he's not fast.
Holy crap.
But yeah, it's.
Do you think LaFine's coming for Lamar Jackson?
Oh, no question. No question. The thing that's funny is I don't think, like, I know they have to, right? I know they have to fine him. They're going to, some sort of disciplinary action is going to happen. I'm not sure I would have done much different if somebody pushes me in the side of the head.
Well, he did like 10 seconds prior to that too. Like Henry got the touchdown.
No, it was right in front of him.
Yeah, he hits Derrick Henry in the head, and then Lamar Jackson's like right behind him, and then he gets hit in the head. Of course, Lamar Jackson's gonna push him back, like, dude.
Yeah, well, and it's not like it was a head pat, right? Like it was literally like shove the side of your head. And I mean, again, he's gonna get fined. He came out in the presser after the game and said all the things he's supposed to say. But I mean, I don't know that I would have been in that moment doing anything different. Like,
no,
you potentially hurt somebody doing that, and that immediately got ejected, right?
Well,
like
if you re-watch the Derrick Henry touchdown, and if you re-watch that Derrick Henry touchdown and slow it down right when he gets into the end zone, you can see 2 full beer cans being chucked at Derrick Henry in the end zone. One of them went over the top of Derrick Henry and landed on the goal line, and the other one landed like right in front of him.
Keeping it classy, nice. Yeah, no, but I mean, it was good that the fan got ejected. You do want to set the precedent so that other people don't start doing that kind of dumb stuff. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not a fan of the fact that he's going to get in trouble for it, because
if I'm the team, like in a situation like that, like obviously, as an NFL player, as an NBA player, as a professional athlete,
you can't do
you're not allowed to touch the fans under any circumstance, no matter what they do to you. Obviously, it's a lot more difficult sometimes, especially with the situation last night. So he's going to get fined. But if I'm the team, I'm paying the fine for him, because it's like, what are you supposed to do? Like any player.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Look, if your security isn't doing their job and this dude gets on the field and assalts me or hits me in the head or whatever.
He was on the field. He was in row 1 and he
were next to the wall.
Over.
Yeah, they hit him. Okay, I didn't see that part of the game. I was just going to.
No, he's in the front row.
So he was in the stands.
He was in the front row of the end zone. He was in the front row of the end zone. Lamar Jackson's kind of like maybe a foot away from the wall, not even. The fan just kind of reaches over and like hits him in the side of the head like this. So then Lamar turns and just like shoves the guy like 2 rows back.
I mean, what's unfortunate about it is it's these types of actions that will end up making it so that teams put up the glass ring.
Yeah.
No, not even the nets, because you can push the nets. Like it'll probably be like the hockey glass around the first, right around the base.
Yeah.
Because I mean,
that kind of sucks, but what do you got to do? I mean, you still got to protect the players too. I mean, I'm sorry, I understand you can't put hands on players. Maybe that's a bad thing, whatever. But at the same time, if somebody hits me, I'm gonna defend myself.
And you don't want to get rid of that, because there's things like the Lambeau Leap, and there's player interactions where they score and they're giving people high fives and whatever. So when you end up with one jerk that does this, that's when new rules come in that ruin the game, because you got one guy that had no business being in the stadium anyway, because they just don't know how to act.
Right.
And you'll never get rid of that, because we always see fans doing it. Baseball, basketball, every sport. I mean, you can't control people's, especially when you're drinking. I don't know if that guy was drinking or not, but sometimes drinking makes you do stupid stuff.
Yeah, I was going to say, it looked like it was a younger guy.
Yeah, it looked like a teenager. Like, he did not look that old. He could have been maybe in his 20s, but he wasn't like an older fan. Like, he was a younger fan.
Oh, he was a young kid.
He was probably like late teens, early 20s is what it looked like. What's up, dude?
Sorry, I'm late, guys. I got in the middle of a couple of conversations, and I'm like, oh, it's 10:25. Yeah, it was busy weekend. Yeah, from Thursday on, like it was just nonstop.
Hey, we're all alive in our suicide picks.
Yeah, everybody survived week 1.
Everybody except Brad. He chose Kansas City.
No, he made 2 picks. He made 2 picks because he chose Kansas City, and then he picked another team shortly after. Are we sure he actually stuck with Kansas City, or did he take a second?
Hey, listen, you get the 1 pick. That was it.
Yeah, he got locked into whatever his first pick was. So yeah, although it would have been funny is if his second pick also failed.
I think it did. I think his second pick did fail.
Oh, did it?
I think so. Because I thought his second pick was Carolina over the Jags.
I mean, it might have been. I'd have to look, but if it was, that's even better. I mean, he
could. It's all right, Joe. We won't. We're not gonna bash somebody when they're not here. We are not Bills fans who throw drinks on guys who score touchdowns or try to like beat up players as they're walking past.
Right.
Like that kid. Not for nothing. I know that of course, that Lamar Jackson probably will not get anything involved in that. Like I don't suspect that that's going to.
He'll get a fine.
He'll get a fine, but like I said, I think the team will pay it for him because I mean, as a player, you kind of got to defend yourself a little bit, and like because even when you notice, like if you cut to the sideline after he did it, the Ravens are talking to him about it. Lamar Jackson's like, well, what am I supposed to do? The guy's hitting me in the head. Like, I'm not going to let him hit me in the head and not retaliate. That's why I don't think Lamar Jackson pays the fine. I think the Ravens just cut the check and be like, here's the check for the fine that's coming. Just hand it to the NFL when you get yours.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know that they're going to, because I mean that's where it becomes like that guy was blatantly, he had hit 3 other guys already at that point. And that's like that he shouldn't be allowed in the stadium again.
Yeah, well, they did eject him immediately, but yeah, I mean, the league's going to fine him, no question. Like they'll get a fine,
just because all he did was push him.
Yeah, it was a solid push.
He went from row 1 to row. He went from row 1 to row 3 on that push. It was pretty good.
So, I feel like that kid had to have some alcohol because what normal person is just going to go start hitting? Several players.
Jay, you do realize it's a Buffalo Bills fan, though. Buffalo Bills fan.
All right. So, yep. Let's talk about that too. Let's talk about it right now.
Buffalo Bills fans are normal.
Yeah. So the Philly chick, obviously, who may, and it's interesting because that kid in Buffalo won't get any press. The guy who threw the drink in Buffalo at Henry, not going to get any press. But this chick who, unfortunately, she definitely had a Karen moment.
No question.
Bro, she even had the hair like a Karen. I mean, like
she was
the
full definition. Hey, listen, we're not gonna make fun of people's hair there, Jay. You got room to talk. Truth of the matter is that realistically,
you look like a peacock. You're talking to me.
This got blown up much more than it was supposed to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? First off, the guy going, that look, I watched that part 1 billion times.
Oh, yeah.
First off, you should have never have touched him. But the fact that he was like, I thought that was the most hysterical thing at the process.
The thing that's funny is
that was hysterical,
if you look at the image just before, he's hugging his kid and his eyes are closed. So I think she just scared him because all he had was her arm grab him or her hand.
Not only that, like, so there were so many things that were wrong with this whole situation.
Yes.
In general. Now, if there were anybody else in that row, he wouldn't have been able to get to that point.
I mean,
the father also knew, like he went there as like the king of the mountain, but he hears what's happening behind him. Like she was there too quickly. So she's like, yo, hey. So he gives the ball to his son. This was a little bit more play acted. Now, congratulations to the kid because the kid now, not only has he gotten the bag, gotten a bat from Bader, but now he's got World Series tickets.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't hear that. That's cool.
The Phillies hooked this guy up like big.
Like and it wasn't just the Phillies. Now we're getting everybody in the world hooking this kid up.
Like the Marlins gave him like the basket of whatever it was, and then Harrison Bader had him like in the tunnel by the clubhouse after the game to sign the bat, and then either somebody on the Phillies PR must have called his dad like later or something to give him the World Series.
Joe, that's not the case. If you go frame by frame, that ball
was on the
never touched her.
No, it was on the ground.
Exactly.
You're in Miami where 5,000 people
in the chair. It was in the chair.
Yeah.
She never actually put finger on the ball because there was the other guy who also tried to get it in the Eagles jersey. He was the one who she went down to second. Yeah. So she was really doing things like wrong at that point. But she's now getting goaded to do things wrong.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, like, I mean, it's immediately after that all occurred, she needed to go switch sections. Like right away.
She needed to get out of there,
She needed to get herself out of harm's way, and she chose not to do that. And then she chose to kind of fight back, which also wasn't a good look for her. That being said, like the fact that people are like, oh, let's make this girl famous and whatever. I would love for those people to get investigated and everything that they do wrong show.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it really bothers the living hell out of me that everybody is immediately going after someone. You know, like,
she definitely didn't need to get bullied.
She deserves to get fired for that. And I tell you, I've got somebody who's on my page who tried to make a joke like that. He went to a spot kind of similar to where she worked. And he was trying to make a joke about it, but it's not funny. This isn't funny. This is somebody's life here. You know what I mean? And she made a bad decision, and ultimately she is, you pay a little bit of a price. But listen, she did that kid the biggest favor of his life right at the moment.
Right.
By all of that occurring. So she could be the hero in this too. So
welcome to social media.
I mean, I don't know about all that, but it definitely isn't right. It definitely isn't right for her to get bullied the way she has after the fact. No question.
Right. So this really should be a learning, experience. Now let's go a little bit the very next day, not 200 miles up the coast. Somebody hits their 40th home run for the Rays. And the guy gets the ball. And the Rays staff comes and says, I want the ball back. You got to give us that ball back. And he's like, no, I'm not giving the ball back. It's my ball. And they are now they're accosting him. In fact, he was held and detained by a Rays employee to give the ball back. Not only he was forced to give the ball back, and he's been banned from the stadium for 6 months.
That's a lawsuit.
That's a
lawsuit.
Because judges have already done this. Judges have already determined that the ball is considered given up property the moment it leaves the field of play.
That is a lawsuit.
We've seen this before. We saw something happen. Was it last year with one of Ohtani's?
Yep.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's a very similar thing. And then
that is a lawsuit where the Rays are going to probably be giving this guy season tickets for a long time. And but the thing with this is the 40th home run, it's not really something I consider a milestone.
Well, the reason why was because it was, it was the first time in Rays history that somebody hit 40 home runs.
Yeah, that I get, but if I catch a ball and it's a milestone home run, whether it's home run number 200, 300, or 100, or in this, you hit the team record for home runs, I would have no problem giving the baseball up if you ask me nicely. Don't come up to me and be like, I want that ball. Okay, so do I.
Yep. If you want that ball, be like, hey,
can I have that ball back because this is
you know what I mean?
Have that back because this is the team record.
We'd like to exchange that baseball
for a signed bat or something.
I would have no problem doing that. Yeah, I would have no problem doing it if you came up to me and asked me nicely about it. But if you're gonna come up to me and be a dick and be like, "We need that ball back," no, you don't. It's a home run.
But that's the thing, though, right? Hey, this one lady. It was a mistake on her part, and any one of us could have made that mistake. But when you do something in a public environment, when the day of social media, and you got a little kid, and the dad just gave the kid to the ball, that's a perfect meme situation. And your hair already looks like Karen. Come on, how did she not know that this is going to happen? Everybody knows that this is going to happen.
I mean, there's so many cameras.
Yeah, I mean, everything's so if you don't want that kind of headache, or if you don't want that in your life, you know what? Just let the kid have the best baseball. Move on with your life.
Yeah, it's
I mean, it is. That's the way social media works these days. And people don't understand that. They want to just. You can't just do what you used to do back in 1979 because it ain't 1979. Not with technology. You just can't do it.
She wouldn't have got the ball back then either. That dad would have told her to pound
well,
sand.
It could have gone a much different way. The dad, and let me tell you, let's say the dad is no angel in this part either.
No, he's not.
The dad looks like the big hero here. But sure, like I said, had anybody been in that row, if this would have been in any other stadium where actually people went to the games, he wouldn't have been able to go all the way down the row to get that ball.
She may still not have ended up with that ball because someone might have just caught it in that
row.
She
may still not have ended up with it, correct. And she was slow. She was afraid of the ball initially, and then like I said, it was bouncing around the seat. And the guy comes up there from all the way down in the row, but he knew immediately that she was following him because that's like he played it up some. Like he played it
probably
up.
Did. Sure.
Let me give you the baseball. Let me hug you like this. Like it was all an act. You could tell.
Sure.
It was
he might actually like his kid.
I'm
sure he loves his kid. And I'm sure it was like, it's like it's a
was it really his kid? Are we sure?
You could tell. He knew she was coming. Let me do this.
So the funny thing is, my son actually had a similar situation like this weekend. So we live 10 minutes from the hotel.
Right.
No, we have, you kind of, her name was Sally, but we'll say her name is Karen. But we live 10 minutes from the team. We live 10 minutes from the hotel where all the Packer visiting teams stay at. So whenever they come to Green Bay, we always go the day before the game to see them get off the bus. And sometimes they sign some things. And then we always go the morning of the game because then you can watch them get on the bus. They take pictures sometimes or whatever. So it's just fun to be there. So yesterday morning before they got on the bus, we actually ate breakfast at the hotel that they stay at just because they have a public restaurant that you can go in and eat breakfast. My kid's eating breakfast. Jared Goff comes walking through the lobby to get a coffee. And they have signs on the doors that say there are no requesting autographs. There's no requesting photos inside the facility or you will be asked to leave because the players want their privacy when they stay at the hotel, which I get that.
Sure.
My son's 11, so he sees Jared Goff buying coffee. He's like, Dad, that's Jared Goff. I'm like, that is Jared Goff. So he walks up to Jared Goff and kind of sticks out his hands to give Jared Goff knucks. And Jared Goff gives him a knuckle. And all of a sudden the security guard from the hotel is asking me and my son to leave. She's like, didn't you see the sign on the door? I'm like, the sign that said no pictures or no autographs there. He's like, well, your son just touched the quarterback. You have to leave. And I'm like, okay. So all of a sudden, Jared Goff is standing, kind of heading towards the room, and he's just he's not bothering me. He's a kid. He gave me knucks. I gave him knucks back. And then all of a sudden, Jared Goff kind of pulls my son to the side. He's like, do you have anything for me to sign? He's like, yeah, I have a Jack Campbell and a Jahmyr Gibbs card. He's like, hold on 1 second. Took my son down the hallway, and now he's got a signed Jahmyr Gibbs and a signed Jack Campbell card.
Oh, that's cool.
Where?
Very cool.
See, and that's it's I get it. And I understand where some people are doing their jobs, and she is being kind of forced to do her job. And even though the athlete gives the okay, it's still their job in general.
Yeah.
They're told to make sure that these players are left alone.
Yeah. Yeah. And the hotel's gotten in trouble in the past because people used to call the hotel asking if the team was there yet, or they used to call the hotel asking if the team was staying there. And the hotel, by rule, the hotel can't be like, oh, yeah, the team is staying here. Or they can't be like, oh, yeah, Randy Moss is here. Oh, yeah, Jared Goff is here, because they don't want them to get bombarded. So now it's just everyone knows the team is going to be there. It's just a matter of do they get there on Friday or Saturday. So everyone knows the team is going to be there. So now they start putting up all these signs saying you can't bother the players inside the hotel. But if the players choose to leave the hotel and go downtown and go to bars and this and that, if you want to talk to them then, by all means, they're off our property now. You can do that. But if they're on our property, they just don't want to be bothered too much.
Well, and I mean, it's up to the player, right? So it's their job to bar people from doing it. And then if the player decides, hey, it doesn't bother me, like that's fine. But that's up to the player. So, I mean, you know.
Like some players, as they are walking from the bus to their rooms, will stop and take pictures and autographs. And really, truth of the matter is that there's usually a couple of guys assigned to do that. It's they may want to do it in certain circumstances, but usually what you do is you assign a couple of guys.
Can you barely
listen? I need you guys to be the ones that are going to sign some autographs so that everybody else can get through.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So that there isn't people like they're going to scream for people anyways. You know what I mean? That's so. But you got to have a couple of deflections. So you have the guys that are on the special teams. You're going there and they're signing the balls or whatever, and you got 3 guys, and now all of a sudden you have the little bit of crowd around that, so that the quarterback and everybody else can get through with only minimal hey type thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And that's typically, I feel like, how it's done. You know, like I said, there's a lot of etiquette that's got to get put out here. The truth of the matter is that there is no set of rules or guidelines that really govern any of this.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it's like anybody can get away with anything because, hey, if the hotel doesn't want you on their property and they're asking you to leave because your son went up to Jared Goff while he was in line getting a coffee, you know what I mean? There's really not much that you could say to that.
No, there's not much you can say. That's why it's just like, okay, well.
Yeah, it sucks. It sucks.
Yeah, that's what Jared Goff's like.
She isn't the one that's making the rules either.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
The hotel makes the rules and she's just out of security.
Right. And she's got to do it. She's got to follow it to the very, very letter of the law, which includes your 11-year-old son going up and dapping Jared Goff. You know, and ultimately, again, what happens is if the player is a human being, the player makes it a better situation for the kid.
Exactly.
Then everybody's happy because the guard did what they were supposed to do.
Yep.
The kid gets much more out of it. And the quarterback, who felt like he was being the heel a little bit, now gets to act like a hero.
Yep.
So it really does work. And of course, she doesn't get the good name from us here because we are calling her the Karen. But she's not a Karen, you know.
Well, no, she's just doing her job. And I mean, honestly, for her bosses, they look at that like that is exactly how that interaction should have went.
At 100%. 100%.
Like, you go do your thing, and then it's up to the player to walk it back if they want it.
Correct.
Or allow you to boot them out. Either way.
You want to?
Yeah.
So,
for those of you that didn't see it, this is what started this conversation. There's a couple other like fan camera angles that are priceless.
Yeah, the 2 girls that are behind, really got all that was my ball. That was my ball. That was my ball. That's what she kept saying. That was my ball. You took it from me. That was my ball. You took it from me. And that's where it's.
The thing that's tough about that is it's nobody's ball, right? It's whoever gets to it first.
Right.
So it could have hit you square in the hands if you didn't catch it. You know what? Hey, get better at catching a ball.
Right.
I've had this situation actually happen to me.
Okay.
I'm out there and I was filming I'm literally filming batting practice.
Okay.
And I've got this laptop, the one that I'm using right now, a camera attached to it facing in the opposite direction, and my phone in my hand. So I got this on my lap, a phone in my hand, and this ball coming towards me. And I'm like, wow, this ball looks like it's going to hit us. You know what I mean? And it hits me. It hits me. So now I got like I'm trying to catch the ball with one hand. It hits off of the palm of my hand and bounces.
Yeah.
And this other guy comes around, and now I'm trying to gather my stuff a little bit, try to hold everything and go after the ball, which is 2 seats away from me.
Yeah.
And the guy comes down and he runs and grabs it. Now this is just batting practice.
Sure.
Now here I am. I'm actually still filming all of this, and I know that now I don't have the ball. I'm not going to ask him for the ball. Like, yo, dude, that ball hit me. You should give that one to me. You know what I mean? And he knows the same thing. He feels the exact same thing because now he's standing there talking to me for a few minutes because he feels bad that he took the ball, but he ain't giving the ball back. He'd be like, yo, dude, I saw that this hit you square in the hand, and it sucks that you couldn't catch it because you have all this stuff in your hands. But the matter, I would have got that ball and I would have given it to a kid. Like it had nothing. I'm not keeping the ball. I don't want a ball in my pocket all game long.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? I'm already carrying around enough stuff, let alone whatever. So, but the fact that he knew that he should give me the ball, he didn't, and he sat there and talked to me about it, for 2 minutes. I don't want to have a conversation with you. See, I'm filming here. You know what I mean? It's like, stop talking to me now. You got the ball. Go away. Shoo. You know what I mean? It's like that's what I felt like doing there, which is kind of what he did at that point. He's like, I need you just away from me now. Like it's like this is
well, and that's the thing.
Gotten out of hand at that point.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
it's funny that everybody picked up on it, but the reason why everybody picked up on it is because nobody goes to baseball games in Miami.
Yeah.
That was the problem. That's the real problem. If Miami actually had anybody going to the games, this would have never have occurred.
No.
Wow. Philly fans are Karens. I wonder if that haircut's going to be the top 10 haircuts to get now.
Well, nobody goes to baseball games in general in Florida, though, Pegs, because, Tampa Bay, the attendance has always been terrible, too. Even when they make the playoffs, they can't even sell out their own stadium.
Well, you want to know what, though? Every time I go to a spring training game for the Phillies, you know what? It's sold out.
Yeah.
That's not worth anything.
If you're looking at 6,000 or 7,000 people in a spring training facility, maybe 10 depending on the facility, as opposed to 30, 40,000.
16.
16 for Phillies?
16,000 people.
Which the Marlins average, I think 12 or 13. The Rays averaged around 15 or whatever at Tropicana Field. So, that's probably what you're going to get because there's just so much to do in Florida during the summer. People want to go to the beach. People want to do all this other stuff. I don't feel like sitting in a baseball game today. I'll go to the ocean.
Right. So it is what it is. This has really gotten way too far. Way too far. When what's his face from Barstool Sports, the Mets guy who does it, and said, there's no need to try to get this girl fired for any reason. Yeah. And that's those people, and he called somebody out specific, these people need to get, quid pro quo on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's why I said, she doesn't deserve the bullying that's happening. What she did was didn't look good, right? It's a bad look overall, but you don't need to get fired. You don't need to have your whole life destroyed because you took a ball from a kid. Again, it's a bad look, but it shouldn't alter your life moving forward.
Right.
God, you must have had a hard day going back to work.
Right.
Well,
how do you do it? Do you wear glasses and a hat and pray God nobody knows you?
You're walking in with the hoodie.
So obviously everybody thought that she was a principal. Immediately it goes to, oh, this is a teacher, and this is what she's doing to kids. No, she's a nurse. taking care of the elderly. Things that I have found out because of this was like, that also go way under the radar because nobody's saying anything about it. Is that she just lost her father, who was a big baseball fan. Like there's like you could say that's like, hey, that
backstory to it, yeah.
Story, like it was like, she went to the game because he lived down in Miami, and well, all that side of the story never comes out. It's only like, hey, you took the ball away from the kid. Where it could have been like, hey, dad wanted me to got me that ball, and some guy came along who wasn't sitting anywhere near me and stole it.
Yeah.
I can't guarantee that it all looks that way either, because everything is everything. You know what I mean? It all could be AI, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. No, she got spun up into being like Nurse Ratched, and
yeah, Cruella. I liked the Cruella was the closest one. Okay, Cruella. All right.
Two-tone hair. Yeah, the two-tone hair.
That's how social media works, though, Pags. It doesn't matter the backstory. Nobody cares about that. All they care about is what they see in front of them. I mean, that's just the way social media works. It can be ugly and it can be good. It just depends.
Yeah.
But people like to be entertained, and when something like that happens, some people get entertained by that mess.
They're entertained by misery.
Exactly.
Yes. This is the misery loves company situation.
This is the world we live in, Pags. Embrace it for all that it is.
And if you want to bet on misery, you can do it right here on Coast to Coast using the QR code on the screen. Up to 125% of your first 3 deposits, 10% bet guarantee. Does she get fired? Hit that prop bet.
I mean, think about the first lady that ever did like that became the Karen, that made up the whole Karen thing, right? I mean, that woman, that's just still going on. It happens.
Yeah.
Karen was made up as a racial slur.
Yes.
Oh, I'm sure it was. I don't know much about it, but I'm
sure
it was
considered a racial slur initially. So the fact that this is even still a thing. Yeah, it's like I get it. It's like every once in now it just shows entitlement.
Yes.
Yeah.
Karen and Dustin. Dustin is the male. No, I'm kidding. It's actually Kevin.
Yeah, I thought it was.
He wears that salmon shirt. He wears that salmon.
Oh no! I take that back. The Kyle one was just like the young douchey.
Yeah.
Energy drink slamming kid.
Like Chet.
Yeah, exactly.
That is, that was the greatest name of all time in Weird Science.
Chet.
So for the last little bit of the show here, we do have Monday Night Football coming to us, and I think this one's going to be fun too. I think your Vikings are in trouble there, Guy.
I don't think they're going to win. I think it'll be a good game. It's just when you're McCarthy making your first career start,
exactly.
This is not the place in the defense you want to do it against.
Yep.
You'd rather either have it in your own building, or you'd rather have it against a defense that doesn't generate the turnovers and the pressures the Bears defense can generate. And I get that Minnesota has improved their offensive line a lot by going to get Ryan Kelly, Will Fries from the Colts. They drafted Donovan Jackson to be the left guard.
Mm-hmm.
But your 3 interior linemen are all brand new. They're still going to have to get the chemistry with Christian Darrisaw, who still hasn't been cleared to play yet after tearing his ACL in week 6 last year. They still have to get the chemistry with Brian O'Neill as the other tackle. So that interior offensive line is where the Bears try to generate most of their pressure. And McCarthy has never been asked to really, going back to when he was at Michigan, he's never been asked to really beat a team with his arm. He's always had a good defense, and he's always had a good running game to lean on where he makes the throws when you have to. If Minnesota struggles to run the ball, which I think they will at times, I still think Aaron Jones is going to have a good game because he always does against the Bears. But if Minnesota struggles to run the ball, and if the Vikings are down by like 10 points in the second half, McCarthy's going to be forced to throw. And if he does throw 30-plus passes, he's probably going to end up with a couple turnovers just because that's the one thing the Bears defense has been good at the last few years is generating turnovers.
It's true. The one thing that is encouraging going into it that wasn't the case on Friday was Jefferson is no longer on the injury report.
No, Jefferson's good to go. The only ones that are concerning is Darrisaw is questionable, just because his knee is 100%, but he's not like 100% in game shape yet because he missed basically all of training camp and he started practicing like week 2 of the preseason. So he's probably, I'd say, 3 weeks away from being 100%.
Yep.
Harrison Smith ended up with a freak illness.
He's out.
Yeah, he ended up with a freak illness the last week of preseason, and no one actually knows when he's actually going to come back. It's kind of like the Jonathan Taves injury or Jonathan Taves illness in hockey a couple of years ago, where all of a sudden he got sick, and 5 months later he still wasn't playing, so nobody knows what's really going on with Harrison Smith. But I think Minnesota's defense is good enough to force some turnovers on Caleb Williams as well. I think the Bears win this like a 2017, 2016 type of game. I think it's just going to be very sloppy, a lot of turnovers, and just kind of an ugly first game across the board for both sides.
Yeah, I think the Bears get this win for sure. I mean, obviously Addison being out hurts.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I like the Bears here to get it done at home. Yeah, since we don't know what McCarthy is, like that's the biggest question mark.
Yeah, like if this game was in Minnesota, I'd give Minnesota the edge just because being at home I think helps a lot too, and having that crowd on your side, getting in Caleb Williams' head, getting in their head, I think helps a lot. But like just with Minnesota struggles at Soldier Field, no matter who the quarterback is, whether it's Cousins, Culpepper, Favre, all these quarterbacks have always struggled at Soldier Field. It's just not a good way to be a welcome to the NFL moment.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how Caleb Williams performs under Ben Johnson.
I think it's going to be a good game. I think it's going to be a good game regardless, but I think Bears like win it by like 3 or 4. It's just going to be it's going to be what you would think an NFC North game is going to be. A lot of hard hits, a lot of sloppy play, and a lot of turnovers. Like this is going to be your classic NFC North black and blues game.
Yep. Yeah, no, and yeah, I think the Bears win this. But yeah, no, I do think you're right. Like this is going to be within a score. Like nobody's running away with this game.
Like if somebody's up by like 2 scores early, it's going to end up 1 score late because that team that's up 2 scores early is going to make some sort of mistake at some point that's going to lead to a score by the other side, and that game's going to get closer by the end. It's just going to be just one of those. Ugh, that was an ugly first game. Let's just throw all the tape and focus on week 2.
Yeah, we do know what Caleb is. That is true. That is true.
That's the point. I think that's the weakness for me. I'm not a firm believer in Caleb Williams. That's why I'm still kind of on the fence with that one.
See,
yeah.
If you give Caleb Williams the right offensive coordinator, I think he'll be fine. Last year he was in a system where Matt Eberflus did not have an offensive coordinator because Luke Getsy was complete trash.
Well, the interior of that offensive line last year was terrible.
Well, yeah, but look what happened when Thomas Brownlow took over as the offensive coordinator once they fired Luke Getsy. Like, Caleb Williams had a 6-game stretch where he was a top 5 quarterback in the NFL because you actually gave him a competent offensive coordinator that knew how to call plays to Caleb Williams' strength. Then you fire Eberflus and put Thomas Brown as the head coach, and then Chris Beatty becomes the offensive coordinator the final 5 weeks, and Williams kind of started dropping off again because you gave him another unproven offensive coordinator. Technically speaking, Declan Doyle is an unproven offensive coordinator, but Ben Johnson's calling the plays, and Ben Johnson knows what he's doing.
Well, we're about to find out. We'll find out tonight. But yeah, no, I mean, I like the Bears, and again, I just because we don't know what McCarthy, like you said, he wasn't really asked to do a lot in Michigan. He's gonna get asked to do some stuff tonight.
Yeah.
That being said, it gets to the top of the hour. If you've been watching along with us, be sure to like and subscribe. Helps us bring our stuff to you. Otherwise, we are going to get out of here. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Enjoy the football tonight. Take it easy, everybody.
Happy Karen.